Hello all, in today's video we are going to learn about the World Wide Web. World Wide Web is one of the most important services provided by the internet, which is a repository of information linked together from locations all over the world. It has a unique combination of flexibility, portability and user-friendly features. WWW is a distributed client-server service program where the client, that is a browser, will request for a service from the server and the server in response will give a service to the client. See, for example, here a client, which is nothing but a browser here, is requesting for a web page from the server A. And in response it will get a web page, and this web page will consist of a reference request to another server. So the request is given to this particular server again, and this will in response give back the web page required to the client. So basically the client which we are talking about is nothing but the browser, and this browser has these browser is basically used to interpret and display a web document. Browser is used to interpret and display a web document. For that it has different parts like a controller, the protocols and the interpreter. A controller role is to receive the input from the keyboard, and these protocols will help browser, and the interpreters like HTML, JavaScript and Java help it to interpret the web document. And as we all know that if the client is requesting for a web page, it has to give the address of that particular web page. And this is facilitated with the use of a uniform resource locator. It is a standard for specifying any kind of information on the internet. The general format of a URL is protocol:/host:/port/path, where protocol specifies the protocols like HTTP or FTP. The host specifies the computer on which the information is located. The port specifies the port number of the server program, and path specifies the location of the file. The location of the file. As you all know that originally the World Wide Web was a stateless entity. It was a stateless protocol wherein a client will send a request and the server will respond. That's it. The relationship was over. But now the WWW has changed. It has other functionalities like some websites need to allow access to registered clients only, that it has to store its user ID and passwords. Websites are being used as electronic stores where we'll browse through the store, select wanted items, put them in an electronic cart and pay at the end. We do transaction. Some websites are used as portals. Some are used for advertising. For all these things, we need an entity called as a cookie, wherein when a server receives a request from the client, it stores information about the client in a cookie, in a file or a string. This information may include information gathered about the client such as the name, registration number and so on. It may also include timestamp and other information depending on the implementation. The server, very importantly, that the server includes the cookie in the response that it sends to the client. And when the client receives this response along with the cookie, the browser, the client will store the cookie in the cookie directory. So this is the purpose of cookies. Then coming on to the web documents or the web pages that the clients are requesting from the server. So these web documents or web pages can be grouped into three broad categories: static pages, dynamic pages and active pages. What do you mean by static documents? Static documents are fixed content documents that are created and stored in the server. They are already there, they are fixed, they are created. Whenever the client will request for that particular web page, that page is being given as a response to the client. We also call it a static HTML document. Now the document which we are getting is called as an HTML document. So let me put some light on HTML. Hypertext markup language. It is a most basic building block of the web. Without this, nothing exists as such. It defines the meaning and structure of the web content. Whatever content you are requesting from the server, its meaning and structure of the web content is specified by this HTML, hypertext markup language, where the term hypertext means it refers to the links that connect the web pages with one another. And the word markup here is used for annotating the text, images and other content for display in a web browser. To mark up, to do this marking up of, to do this annotation of text and images, we make use of different tags available that you might have already learnt in WT and FEWD, that we have a header tag, title, body, header, footer, table. You have different types of tags available for HTML documents. Now coming on to the second type of document, that is dynamic document. Dynamic documents are created by the web server. They are not already fixed. They are not already fixed. They are being created by the web server whenever the client or the browser requests for the document. When a request arrives, the server will run an application program and it creates dynamic content. Then and there, dynamic content is being created and a dynamic HTML document is received by the client. This is called as dynamic document. A dynamic document could be using a server-side script also, that the server is running a JavaScript and giving a response as a dynamic HTML document. So basically the dynamic documents are sometimes referred to as server-side dynamic documents because those documents are being created by running an application program or a JavaScript to give the response. Then we have the third type of document called as the active document, wherein the application needs a program or script to be run at the client side. Here in dynamic documents, you were running the program at the server side, but where you require to run a program, application program at the client side, then they are called as active documents. When a browser requests for an active document, the server sends a copy of the document and then the document is run on the client machine. Best example is the applets of Java which are being run on the client machine for animation purpose. We can also have active document using the JavaScripts, where the JavaScript received from the server can be run on the client machine. So these are the three kinds of different web documents: static, dynamic and active. Active documents can also be sometimes referred to as client-side dynamic documents, whereas dynamic documents are referred to as server-side dynamic documents. Then, another important thing that comes up to when we were talking about the URL, we were telling that we make use of a protocol called as HTTP. As I told you that a browser will make use of these following components. It makes use of the controller, and it makes use of some very important protocols like HTTP, FTP. So one such important protocol is the HTTP, Hypertext Transfer Protocol. Is a protocol used mainly to access the data on the World Wide Web, whereas HTTP is a combination of FTP and SMTP. HTTP uses the services of TCP on a well-known port called the port number 80. Here, how does the HTTP transaction takes place? The client puts on a request and the server will give a response. So this request and response messages have the following format. We have a request line, header, a blank line, a body in the request message, and we have a status line, headers, blank line and body in the response message. The request line of the request message and the status line of the response message are shown here. The request line consists of the request type, space the URL, space the HTTP version. The status line from the response message consists of the HTTP version, space status code, space status phrase. Now what does this request type means? Request type means the methods that are used. The methods used are get, head, post, put, trace, connect, option, etc. status codes. Status codes are the ones in the response message, and the different status code used are continue, switching, OK, etc. We also have other status codes, and then we have the header format. You can see after the request and status line, we have the header format. The header format is like this. We have the header name : space header value. The different headers are cache control, connection headers. We have request headers. These are the response headers. Though you need not list this in the exam while you're writing the answer to the particular question, but you can only give a brief description of your request and response messages. So these are the general headers and request headers and response headers and entity headers. And at last comes the body of the message, where the body can be present in both request or response message. It usually contains the document that has to be sent or received. So this was about your World Wide Web protocol, wherein we are specifying the different types of documents. We studied about URL, we studied about what is a cookie, we have studied about the types of documents which are static, dynamic and active, and we have learnt about HTML, we have learnt about the HTTP protocol. Thank you.